Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and yes, Go Jesus behind me, invoking the power of good old Go Jesus, and we would like to wish you a very happy Tuesday, the best Tuesday possible that you could ever have in your cryptocurrency life, but in your real life as well. But let's get into live scene right over here as we have some very serious magic internet money business to get deep and down into. And Bitcoin starting the day out, bouncing off of about 3,700. Again, our lower support at around, 3720 or whatever we have down around here, still holding, and I don't believe that we're going to be making new lows like anytime soon. And when I say soon, not at least by the end of the week, which is now a long time. Anyways, overall, this balance kind of putting in perspective, just stabbing back up to the 10 simple, which was broken on yesterday's daily dildo close. But again, very low volume action overall. This is just rangy type behavior to me. The big areas are very, very apparent and very, very far away. 6,100, the area of breakdown. As long as we're below there, I don't really think that it's appropriate to be talking about like moon or getting back to all time or getting back to 10,000 or anything like that. And I think that, Bitcoin's going to be very, very comfortable living below 6,000 for a very long time, probably well into next year. Anyways, overall, the lower time frames are where we're really going to have to go into in order to see what's going on over here. I'm going to go down to our BitMexico chart. This is the one that we've been following around for the last, I suppose like the last couple weeks ever since we just dipped down into here. It's just a dip, guys. That's all. BTFD. Just kidding. Just kidding. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Anyways, finding support off of this this first blue box. Sorry, well, perhaps not first, but this blue box territory right over here. Overall, yeah, we actually did have a nice little stop right when I woke up. Stop punt, I should say. Right when I woke up, having this red dildo close technically below the support, but on extremely low volume. So this was a very good hunt. Again, if you're in the technical analysis program, this is why volume analysis, and this is also why the institutional order flow module is extremely important to understand. Because when you do have a quick buy up on this, on relatively higher volume, probably going to get some follow through. So if we were to kind of fall back into this range and test the 21 exponential right around 38.80, I probably will be looking to be a buyer. Overall, Bitcoin just ranging essentially. Yes, we did close above this horizontal right here around 39.30, but as you can see, we've just like kind of worked ourselves into this next order block territory, and as you can see, this is why I'm so adamant about not taking big directional trades right now. It's just scalping ranges essentially. You break down from this area, you come into this area, you bounce up from this area, so you buy it, and then you come into this area. I'm sure you know what happens next. Anyways, actually finding our overall resistance on this last move, wick up to 39.80. So I like that for good confluence. Again, just kind of respecting these areas. And as always, people who are getting too aggressive either which way, whether they're bulls or bears, being punished for not understanding that things typically don't move in a straight line. And overall, right now is not the right time to be having like big directional trades on. Again, just playing ranges, which is all I'm doing. I do still have my short from about 6,300, but overall, just kind of sitting back and waiting for the next big impetus, which we'll get into right over here. So this is going to be like the next big news for Bitcoin, so to speak. And I got it right. You have the green 55 exponential and the purple 200 exponential right over here. They will cross, barring any sort of major rally up above 6,000 or 6,100 in the next, basically in the next week. You will get that cross, whether you get it, on the next tick or the tick after that. It's kind of irrelevant to me. It will be happening. There is very little that can stop it, again, barring any sort of major rally to 6,100 in about the next week. So really what I'm trying to say over here is a death cross like this is extremely powerful. Again, when you saw the first daily dildo death cross, it was pretty fucking powerful, and this was just a daily, and you got it right over here, the green 55 and the purple 200, and then boom, just all the way down from about 9,000. Remember, consensus was going to save the day, just like Daddy Backed is going to come back in and save the day. Daddy Backed, he will save us, guys. Institutions are going to be forced to buy Bitcoin. Well, yeah, of course, again, news and this kind of stuff is always typically perpetuated to get the to just fill the short bags of the professionals and to dump on the less educated. Then we got our 2-day dildo death cross when we were consolidating around the 6,000 level right over here, and that was really, again, the area when I started saying to myself, okay, it's extremely likely that 6,000 breaks now. This will be playing out extremely likely, and it actually took about a month and a half from the actual cross right over here in middle of September to early November for it to actually play out. And so now now we are in grave danger of getting the 3-day dildo death cross. Does that mean we're going to have an immediate reaction? Doesn't always mean it's going to be an immediate reaction, but what I will be looking for when that gets confirmed, if and when that gets confirmed, of course, it has not been just yet. Don't want to front run myself. You never know in Bitcoin land. Crazier things have happened. And that's really all technical analysis is, just talking about possibilities and probabilities and what their triggering events are. And then, if that doesn't happen, well, then you know that you're fucking wrong. And all it does is tell you when you're wrong, essentially, which is actually quite powerful. That's also why, I have a little bit of apprehensions when talking about, super specific targets that some variations of technical analysis can sometimes give. Anyways, I won't get into that, but 3-day dildo death cross very likely coming up right over here. So basically, what I'm looking to do next is looking for the next bounce. I do believe that we have been given a great signal with the way that the weekly dildo is closed, with both opening and closing below this purple 200 exponential right over here. That very likely, the range for Bitcoin is set. We probably won't be going, deep into the 4,000s before going lower first. I would imagine. In fact, even getting back above 4,200, where this 200 exponential is going to be very difficult. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but I'd also be looking to probably sell whatever it is above there. It's I'd imagine there probably even will be a run above there just to kind of like grab some more perma bulls and then shove some red dildos down their throats once again, shish kebab style, and then cook them and skewer them and serve them to all the big bad bears in the world. Anyways, yellow 21 exponential and green 55 exponential, got the negative cross right over here as well, kind of still gaining momentum away from each other, still basically telling us that the trend is extremely strong and likely to continue. The red 10 simple moving average is now well below 6,000, and also the 21 exponential is now at 6,000 as well. So pressure is mounting extremely fast at the 6,000 level, and actually traveling under faster now. So again, people who think that Bitcoin's just going to it's just a Wyckoff spring and you're just going to V-bottom out of this bitch and go back on to 20,000 in about 5 days. Well, very unlikely, extremely unlikely actually is what this tells us. So again, understand that from a higher time frame perspective, Bitcoin is very likely to be living below 6,000 for a long time. And when I say a long time, I mean at least into Q1 next year, probably Q2. And I don't think Bitcoin's getting back above 10,000. It's not even worth talking about right now. Anyways, okay, so back on over here to the 3-day. Do we have anything else to be aware of on the 3-day dildos over here? Actually, our 3-day Stokes are kind of losing a little bit of momentum. So again, that's why I say, while I am looking for this 3-day dildo death cross over here, it's not that I'm looking for it to play out immediately once it happens. You did see that on the daily dildos, no doubt about that, but you did not see that on the 2 days. So it doesn't always have to play out exactly, but that is what I'll essentially be looking for, is the next bounce. So currently the high of our bounce is around 4,400. I would imagine that once we get that 3-day dildo death cross, we probably don't get above that area. So again, you got basically about a week before it's fully confirmed, and that is what I have my eyes on. If you do get above that area, it's probably gonna be a major short. That's essentially what I'm going off of. Maybe you even do test a 21 exponential, but it's pretty far away from price action right now. It's all the way at 53.50. So if we do go sideways for some time, then it'll have some time to catch up with price action. Going over here to the daily. Speaking of the yellow 21 exponential, it still has a downward slope, by the way. It's this is just so nasty. And now it will be basically at the high of our bounce so far at around 4,400. It is currently at around 4,492. So with each and every passing day, it comes it comes a little bit lower. So again, that's likely to be the governing, fact of our, sorry, not fact, Jesus Christ, wrong word. Our governing exponential, our governing moving average, as we kind of play out this next part of the market phase. So, again, daily over here, just finding resistance initially along the red 10 simple moving average. Not a major area either which way, and this is all relatively low volume action. Again, this is just indicative of consolidation over here. Again, I can't highlight this enough until you actually formally break our lower support, which we've been talking about for quite some time, right around I think it's 3,600. Yeah, the secondary blue box down around here, right around 3,600. Until we actually start closing some higher level dildos below there, I don't think it's appropriate to get too damn bearish. And I think that you probably will have a run back into that area and just scare a few people, gather up a few more over aggressive shorts, but probably do bounce off. The feeling that I get, and again, this is not technical analysis, this is very bad to be doing, but the feeling that I do get is we're going to be playing out a similar area to what we did at 6,000, probably not for as long, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do spend some time, just going sideways in this range, and really, yes, I will be looking to short the next bounce essentially. I don't believe that I think that this current move actually does play out a little bit higher. But overall, until 3600 breaks, it's not like the trade of a fucking lifetime or anything like that. If we do break 3600, where do we start looking towards, or at least where do I start looking towards? Again, our secondary blue box territory that we've been speaking on for like the last fucking 8 months. Down around here. Between about 2,500 and about 2,900, somewhere in there, looks like a damn good target to me. A lot of confluent factors coming into this range. We have the 886 Fibonacci retracement. We had which is actually where we found our ultimate low in Bitcoin in 2014. We also have a nice, massive, thick volume node coming around in this range right over here as well. And by the way, once we lose 3,600 over here, there ain't nothing doing from a volume profile perspective all the way until again the 26, 2,800, whatever you want to call it. You never know where wick's going to go, but it's going to likely find some sort of some sort of support in this range right here. It should be strong support, but again, should be is a very bad word to use when trading digital speculative assets. So again, I certainly would not rule out Bitcoin going lower, but that's the next area that I'd be looking towards for a major bounce if we do break 3,600. You also have some nice horizontals coming around this area, some good confluent factors from the history of Bitcoin. So I really like that. And then also, what else do we have? We also have this diagonal trend line right over here, which we can make a very similar kind of relation to in the past 2014 marks. Like you had this diagonal trend line right over here, you had a bull trap, we had a bull trap breaking out of it right over here as well, and then you come back base on it one time right over here on the 786. Well, we kind of did that already. 786 right over here, also the 200 exponential, and then we actually failed that kind of bull trap, came all the way back down to here to the 886, and perhaps that is what we do in 2018 as well. Again, to me, this is quite nasty right here. This dotted trend line, remember, that is the trend line that has never been broken in Bitstamps history, going all the way back to the inception. I don't know, almost 10 years ago, whatever it might be. I know that's not like exactly 10 years because Bitstamps is only, I think like they've been around since 2010 or 2011, some shit like that. Anyways, first we actually broke it a couple weeks on this dildo close, first breaking the 200 exponential right over here. Then we actually retested it on last week's dildo, and nice big wick up there, and also closing below the purple 200 exponential. So we have done something that we've never done in Bitcoin's history. We have both opened and closed a weekly dildo below the 200 exponential, which is a big fucking deal. To me, that means that we're going to be very comfortable living below this level for a little bit of time. And yes, while this current weekly dildo is still living below that level, I would not rule out a run up above this area. Again, I think it would actually be quite healthy to have a wake up above this area, put in a nice little trap, and then run it the other way. If everything was perfect, that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Weekly oscillators over here, weekly stochastics are just making their way back into the critical zone once again. To me, that's not really too helpful right now, especially when we have trending markets. Actually, man, this thing got a perfect sell signal on the big down right over here on the Jewel, and then also the RSI over here. Not really telling us too much. Is finding a little bit of initial support alongside the edge of the more critical zone, kind of like you did in 2014 as well. Funnily enough, that was the bull trap of 2014, and then you bounce up and then back down. So again, I would, it's certainly not rule out a nice bounce. You did have a phenomenal bounce in 2014, actually about 25% to 20 to about 30% right over here. If we did something similar to that, I'm just curious I'm just curious what the percentages would kind of, align with. Yeah, it'd actually be pointing us all the way to about 5,000. Which would be great. That would actually be really fucking good to have a bounce all the way up there, just to kind of like really get all the fucking permeables. So I think that this is like the capitulation low, which is unlikely to be. Again, another just kind of external reason, well, actually, let's go through the tangible reasons first. First things first, why is this unlikely to be capitulation? Well, you look at the volume characteristics down here. This is not good enough. You need something that's more analogous to what we did over here. And again, remember, these are measured in coins traded, not dollars traded. So when price action over here is literally 2 times or more than 2 times higher than what we're doing over here, the volume is literally more than 2 times higher than what we did over here as well. So this is not good enough just from a volume perspective to begin with. The bounce also is not good enough either. mean, this is literally only a 15-16% bounce from wick to dildo body, or where we are currently right now. In 2014, a great example of an actual capitulation. Just the wick to dildo body is like 40%. If we do like the whole dildo, it's like 69%. It's pretty crazy. Again, compare that with like 15%. If we did 60%, that would put you all the way up to like literally back to 6,000. So again, not a good enough reaction. Also, markets are not this fucking generous where they give you multiple chances to buy the lows. You had 1, 2, and you could almost count this as a third one right over here. Although I could be a little bit more lenient with it and say, hey, these ones over here were like right around 35 to 3,400. So that's actually quite a few percentages lower. But again, markets are not that generous. They don't give you multiple chances to buy the lows. It's not like some sort of big player is sitting down here just waiting and saying, you know what? The first 10 hours that we spent at 3,400, I wasn't so sure about it. But now that I've had some time to think, I would like to buy. It's like, no, that's very unlikely. Big players like that, they have mapped this out, well in advance, probably even years in advance. Maybe not years in advance, but like months and months and months in advance. So I'd say that's very unlikely. Overall, this to me is just not indicative of a low to begin with. You don't just like come back down over here and just say, let's just revisit those lows. It's like, no. But here's another external factor as well. The MVT signal, which has called every top in Bitcoin's history pretty much perfectly, and also gotten the bottoms pretty damn well as well. But anytime that the MVT signal ratio oscillator is above where my cursor currently is, that typically aligns with the top, calling it right here, calling the bull trap right here, and 2017 high right here, and then a couple bull traps in 2018. Well, each and every time after it actually goes to these areas, it typically resets itself now where my cursor currently is, or even a little bit lower around this 50 mark. Well, as you can see right now, we are nowhere near that. We're actually about double that right now, around the 100 mark. So again, just kind of another external factor saying, hey, hold your horses for a second, because this bitch still has some room to go. The question to me is, how high do we get on this balance before likely rolling over? Again, I will retain my bearishness as long as we're below 6,000. Not only is it just the breakdown area and, where all those major exponentials are coming under, and also like actually getting progressively, further and further under. I mean, look at the daily over here. You have your 21, your 55, and now your 100 all below 6,000. Your 200 exponential is going to get below 6,000 in about a month or so too. That's going to be fucking nasty. Again, Bitcoin has not been able to maintain dildos above the 200 exponential for like ages. You had a little bit of a throwover over here on your bull trap, which was a phenomenal bull trap, phenomenal fucking bull trap. But really, if you kind of equate for that, it's been ever since May essentially. So what is that, like, literally half a year? It's been a long time. So let's go over to the monthly again, talk about this like just really, really briefly. Again, the monthly over here is a great look into what Bitcoin's doing right now. The green 55 exponential is coming in right around that 3,600 level, 3,700 level. So, 36, 37, whatever, whatever. It's technically 37. And I'd be looking at that, again, typically speaking, you bounce off of it on your first pass. Well, we did kind of have a little bit of a reaction over here, and that's why we said it was unlikely to break on, coming into essentially the end of November. But now we are in December. We do have a new monthly dildo. It can break this. I'd say it's still unlikely this month. I actually don't think that it breaks this month. I would love a run up to test the 30 simple moving average at some point. But hey, that doesn't need to happen. That certainly does not need to happen in very, 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 very bearish markets. You certainly can just shoot right fucking through that, on your second pass. The first pass, you really don't want to break it. The second pass, it can break it, and it's not going to sit off too many. I mean, it's just like, all right, well, you're pretty fucking bearish, huh? Over here, 10 simple and 21 exponential probably going to cross, in the next couple of months as well, barring any sort of major run back up above 6,000. And we have broken our yellow 21 exponential on the monthly dildo chart. So again, coming from my background as a market maker and equity options on New York Stock Exchange ARC, I used to look at, a lot of equities. And I know that I repeat that a lot of times. It probably sounds really fucking arrogant to many people. I just want to make sure that the people who are not familiar with me or who are new to these videos or new to my channel, they can get familiar with me, as they will get familiar with you if you're in the Discord, because we're like one massive community, and we got a lot of fucking characters, man. It's awesome. Anyways, that's sort of my unique look on this, and so I'm used to, and so the reason why I'm actually even telling you this is because the yellow 20-month exponential is what I use to kind of judge if something's like generally bearish, generally bullish. Well, we actually just closed our first dildo below that, on pretty, decent volume right over here. Again, it doesn't really stand out when you actually look at it on a monthly time frame. But hey, it was crashing through that critical level, and to me, from more traditional standpoint, that would actually be when you say, it's kind of looking bearish. It's probably gonna be some more downside. And you know what, I would say that, although, it's like bearish, bullish, these are just relevant terms, right? I mean, you can't tell me that going from 20,000 to 6,000 was like, we're still bullish. It's like, not really, but from a monthly perspective, you could technically say that. So if you want to be super specific, yeah, you could say that. But again, it doesn't matter. It's going from 20,000 to 6,000. Like, you're in a massive downtrend, and trying to buy dips on that bullshit, probably not going to work out too well for you. So again, hodlers will be forced to capitulate during this next segment of the market phase. And that's basically what we're waiting for now. Markets, bear markets end when the last seller has sold. And who's the last seller? Well, really, like the last hodler, the last non-true hodler, the last hodler that can be forced to sell. That is who the market phase is gunning after. Again, most people, or not most people, but there certainly are, quote unquote fake hodlers, who, or maybe they do really think that they are hodlers. But if there is some financial pain point that a hodler has, at which point they will be forced to capitulate, well, that is, who this market phase will gun after, because you quite literally are vulnerable to that. If you don't have like any sort of form of external, income or finances, that probably means you. So if you don't have a contingency plan, be aware that this thing can come down, from a technical analysis standpoint, this thing can come down all the way to your high of your 2014 mark cycle, which is around 1100, and it would be actually quite reasonable. It wouldn't destroy anything from like a long-term perspective, actually. It's not until you actually close a monthly dildo below this high right over here where you actually start saying, uh-oh, now something's very fucking wrong, and it is time to panic. Or perhaps not panic, but it would just kind of insinuate that Bitcoin's like, kind of dead. But hey, very, very far away from doing that. Just understand that, from a technical analysis standpoint, that's, certainly possible. It's not what I'm leaning towards right now. That's not the way that I do technical analysis. A lot of people ask me, where do I think that this thing ends? It's like, that's not really the way that I do things. I can mark off areas. We have this next blue box territory right over here. Probably going to have a major bounce off that area if you do get to it. Again, 3,600 needs to be broken. But if that area fails, then yeah, I do start looking towards, the mid to low 1,000s, I suppose. So again, it's probably going to take a long time. Again, I think a lot of people are getting like way too, gung-ho with looking at or looking for a big move when it's really just time to be playing a range right now. And this, it's probably going to take well into next year of 2019. So, again, we were talking about this drop from 6,000, or really when we started talking about it, price action was like around 10,000 about 8 months ago. I mean, it can take another fucking 8 months. Anyways, okay, Bitcoin actually rallying right now. I do want to go back into the lower time frames, and then we will start wrapping up a little bit, a few other things. Yeah, so Bitcoin, again, we said it's likely to kind of continue on. Yeah, it's probably, going to continue a little bit further. I think another run to about 40-60 is certainly within the cards. And not just within the cards, but likely. But from a higher time frame perspective, do we get back above the range high? That's the real question, in my opinion. Again, like I said, we will be having the 3-day dildo death cross, and typically you do see like a last, ditch attempt to kind of run up and meet it. Do we get that, on this one? We'll probably get an attempt, but it's like an attempt could end, here. It could end here at 46. It could end here at about 48. And if things get it back above 48, that'd be a little bit more interesting. But for now, those are the areas that I'd be looking towards. Again, I'm just, as long as the weekly ends the week below 4,200, nothing's really changed from like a macro perspective. You could have a wick up all the way to 5,200 and then close below, 4,200, and it's like, all right, literally nothing's changed, and that was just a massive fucking sell, which certainly in the cards. So I don't want to make anyone think that this is like a time to FOMO. It's not. There is no real time to FOMO. You shouldn't be doing. I shouldn't be telling you to do anything. I'm just sharing my opinion over here, and my opinion is these things need to be planned far in advance. Anyways, let's go check out. Well, let's actually go over the lower time frames a little bit more. If we do break out of 39, what is this, 39.80? Yeah, about 39.80. If we do close an hourly dildo above there, next area start looking towards is about 40.60. Above 40.60, things get a little bit more interesting again. You know, I just don't see much stopping you from about 4,300-ish area. 4,300 right over here. That's where things I'd likely look for another chance to probably be a seller if you are playing ranges. I really don't like buying shit right now. It's just... It's hard to buy a fucking downwards asset in a bear market. Let's go check out GBTC. GBTC closing the day down, and if my TradingView could work, that would be better. Thank you, TradingView. I do pay for premium over here, motherfuckers. Anyways, GBTC closing on the lower support right over here, technically filling the gap, but not looking too damn healthy to me. Probably does want to sweep the lows one more time, is what it looks like. Again, I do think that Bitcoin will take a stab down towards 3650. Again, I mean, did we do that today though? Because we actually did kind of get down towards that last support, or did we? Hold on. GDAX looks different. Yeah, GDAX does look different. Yeah, if you're using the daily, yeah, we did kind of sleep the lows, the lows already. So perhaps that already counts. Again, this is not like a, it's like this is why I don't think it's too much worthwhile to be trading this range. People are getting don't give away your profits, man. If you were making a shit ton of money over the last couple of weeks, like shorting this whole thing down, don't fucking give that away. It's yours to keep now. It's like your job to fucking keep it. But hey, don't listen to me. Okay, so let's look at SPYs. There's something very interesting going on with traditional markets over here. So yesterday I said, we were likely to, have a good update. We did have a good update, but we didn't get above the critical area that I need to really see. So this does present a little bit of an issue right here, as I really did want to see SPYs get above and close the day above 281 and a quarter. They did not. In fact, they actually sold down and did close the day kind of near the resistance. But this could offer up the potential for a trap. This is such a scary area right here, because if SPY does get rejected one more time from this area, well, it's going to start exploring supports once again, and that is obviously does put us back in danger of getting the daily dildo death cross, which we have not gotten in years and years and years on traditional markets. And again, why is this relevant? Well, Bitcoin and traditional markets have been pretty heavily correlated on the big moves. So I look at this guy right here and I think to myself, and I'm thinking to myself, what a wonderful world. No, it's just there is going to be a next major trade to be made, but it's like this looks now like it wants to come down. Again, I don't believe that you see like a full meltdown in traditional markets like during this month of December. I think it probably happens, January or February of next year. But hey, for now, holding above this area right here, having a decent reaction off of it, but I need to see it continue more. I really need to see it get print above like 280, 281 and a half, and close above there would be beautiful on a daily. And then I'd say, yeah, we probably do make a stab towards our former highs and play things out like that. But for now, today's going to be very, very critical. I don't really have too much else to say about that. I just need to see the way that the daily doodle closes. This could be nasty. It could be nasty or it could be great. It's like literally, it's like such a delicate area that, you can actually use both like really damning languages, and it's actually correct. But overall, like I said, during this actual month, I don't think that there's going to be too much to do. It's just kind of setting up the plates for the next month, I guess you could say. So yeah, okay, so we covered GBTC, we covered SPYs, we covered, and yes, I am bearish on traditional markets, but that's again coming into, late January, probably early February, something like that would make sense from a monthly perspective. Again, major bearish divergence on your monthly over here and over here on your Stokes as well. So that is typically not the best look. And we'll get back on over here to the Bitcoins before we close it out. So let's go back into the lower time frames. Again, Bitcoin does look like it wants to take another stab up. I think 40, 80, your 200 exponential on the hourly likely to get poked up. So that's kind of the way that I'd be looking to play this one right now. You are right out of resistance, so it's not like I'm looking to buy right here. Maybe before taking out this area, you do pop back down to about 39.30. Perhaps that would be a buy. Looks like there is a little bit of selling going on at this resistance right here. Nice little wick up. So far. Ooh, nice little selling action. Let's go down to the 5 minute. Let's see what's going on over here. Yeah. Ooh, rejection, baby. It's a 5 minute rejection. Not really too much to be made out of this right here. 30 minute, finding resistance along your 200 exponential. So not, again, it's, kind of making mountains out of a molehill. Again, the biggest things to be aware of are, does 3600 break? If 3600 breaks, yes, I do start looking towards the high 2000s essentially. And also, and probably more pertinent to what is more likely to happen in the more current timeframes, is we will be getting the 3-day dildo death cross sometime, in the next couple ticks, again, barring any sort of major run up above 6,000. But the critical thing, the kind of critical point that I'm trying to make is I want to be looking to short the next rally on that. That's, when you do get that last ditch rally, just like when you got your 2-day dildo death cross right over here, something like this, and you get it right over here, I'm just looking for the next rally up into that area to be a seller on. And that's going to be the next big play, most likely. I mean, that could also mean that you do pop all the way back up to, 5,500, maybe 6,000. I think it's very unlikely. I think it's very unlikely that you get back above 5,000 anytime soon. I think that you probably go lower before getting back above there. But yeah, 2-day over here, again, not, just looking very, very nasty. It's like, it's not really like there is no bullish case to be made here or anything like that. The only case to be made is like, how long is this likely to take and how deep is it likely to go? So the longer that Bitcoin can spend going sideways over in this range, the better, as it would imply, and kind of let the higher timeframes catch up to what we're doing right now, and perhaps imply that we don't have to go all the way down to maybe an 1100 number. But the faster that it actually goes, the more that it does imply that you could get down there. Again, I'm not looking for that in particular right now. I'm just looking at the more immediate time frame. So if you break 3600, then yeah, looking for about high 2000s. But probably do get a run up in the sometime this week, and once we get that death cross, then the next big short will likely be presented. So as always, a waiting game, unless if you just want to play the range right now. But hey, none is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just sharing my opinion on this price action and exactly what I'd be doing. So that's going to do it for this morning. I hope this one finds you well. Again, pay attention to the higher levels. Pay attention to the 3-day dildo death cross. I'll be back on a little bit later with some live streaming action. Hope you're doing well on this lovely Tuesday morning or evening, or whatever time it might be in this world for you. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.